My video for April the 18th, 2018 is entitled Deception by the Great Pretenders. Are you willing to face the sad reality that we have all been deceived by the great pretenders? You may ask, and who are they? Well, I guess we've all played that role at one time or another to some degree, even if we really had good intentions. Many get sucked into the fraud that permeates all aspects of the human experience. Others seem to love the deception game and the illusion of power therein. At the root of it all is the money game, the master enslaver. International bankers lead the fraud to the point where they have long created money out of thin air, backed by absolutely nothing. Then they employ others in their scam, attorneys, politicians, corporate heads, and even clergy of various stripes. In our time, it would seem to be the House of Rothschild running the scam, yet there may be even more nefarious beings behind them. They have no honor, no compassion, and no desire to help anyone other than themselves. They seem to be in a perpetual state of war with everything that's good, honest, and loving. Hopefully, I'm wrong, but even what I've thought of as God seems to do nothing to correct the situation. Still, I pray. What else can I do? I wrote that, and then I thought there was a song called The Great Pretenders, and it was actually by the Platters in the 1950s, believe it or not. It goes back, and they were a black group, and many tried to steal that song, but I did a little bit of research and found out that they ultimately won the lawsuit against the other pretenders that were claiming that song. But it was a black group, again, back in the 50s that actually were the first ones to come out with the song, Yes, I'm the Great Pretender. And it was, yes, I'm the great pretender, pretending that I'm doing well. My need is such, I pretend too much. I'm lonely, but no one can tell. Oh, yes, I'm the great pretender, adrift in a world of my own. I've played the game, but to my real shame, you've left me to grieve all alone. Too real is this feeling of make-believe, too real what I feel, what my heart can't conceal. Yes, I'm the great pretender. Just laughter and gay like a clown. I seem to be what I'm not, you see. I'm wearing my heart like a crown, pretending that you're still around. Too real is the feeling of make-believe, too real when I feel what my heart can't conceal. Yes, I'm the great pretender. And laughter, just laughter and gay like a clown. I seem to be what I'm not, you see. I'm wearing my heart like a crown, pretending that you're still around. Now, when I read those words, I'm thinking the you're that's still around is God. And I had a little bit of an exchange with a friend before I went to bed last night. And she feels that God is not the great pretender, that God is real. And I used to think of the God as being the granter of desire. But the D must stand for some kind of deception, because we've all been deceived by the concept of God, that which seems to play God in our world. Obviously, as I said in the blurb, has nefarious purposes, does not wish for the good, any goodwill toward creation. It seems just the opposite. And I have long struggled to know the real creator, whatever that is. Whether if that's angels or extraterrestrials or something else. And I'd like the real creator to be loving, to be truthful, to be kind, to be generous, to have the attributes that I aspire to, and that I would hope all people of goodwill do aspire to that. But obviously, many have been sucked in to the great deception and think that having money and having power over others is the way it's supposed to be. No, it's not. That's the great deception. That's the harvest of our souls that gets caught in this web of reincarnation where we never grow up. We never get out of it. Some say that, well, if we were able to know from one lifetime to the next what we did before, we'd get scared. Well, if that's the end result, then probably we did something wrong in that, and we need to get scared. But we need to know that we deceived our own purpose, and were deceived by something that took us off of a path toward health and well-being, took us off of a path toward spiritual maturity. If anything, humans have degenerated, not grown up. We've gone downhill. We used to be much smarter, much more powerful, had gifts, talents, and abilities that we no longer have, even in the 21st century. I mean, and again, I've said this before, but I cite the pyramids. We could not build the Great Pyramid or many of the pyramids that we see in various places in the world. We could not build them with the precision that they were built, with no concrete in between the rocks, and the rocks cut perfectly so that everything fit perfectly. We can't do that in our own generation with stones that obviously came from the earth. It's in the geological record, and lots of things are in the geological record that indicate previous existences of humanity. There's been skeletons and graveyards and all sorts of things that have been found that point to a strange history, some of which we still can't figure out. And there's still phenomenon that simply does not make sense. And I want very much for my life to have meaning. That's why I still pray to God. I still ask Jesus and others for help. But help seems not to be forthcoming, or at least not at the level that I would think we need it if we're going to make a real turnaround and we're really going to come into our own and be able to create heaven on earth. There's so much manipulation, and a lot of it has to do with the monetary system, as I've said so many times. And even the RV would not necessarily help much, because the ordinary people are in the fourth tier, which means there's 3 tiers of probably elite above the normal people. And if we ever get the money to be able to create humanitarian projects, it will be a miracle from my point of view, because the people at the top in the first 3 tiers want to keep all of it for themselves, and they do not want the normal average person to be empowered and enriched. Anyway, these are things that I continue to wrestle with, and I continue to hope for real change that not just I can believe in, but that I can experience. Thank you for listening, and once again, namaste.